We are Anka. Stay tuned for updated real news.
Hello, Anka Daily News viewers. Today we'll focus on striking developments that have once again increased the tension of the war. In the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, military balances can change at any moment on the ground. Especially Ukraine's recent airstrikes are seriously shaking Russia's power on the battlefield, while the losses suffered in the field have reshaped strategic planning. There was another important event that will affect the course of the war. Russia has suffered a major blow on the Air Force front, losing 2 military helicopters in just one day. This development reveals both the growing effectiveness of the Ukrainian army and the vulnerability of the Russian army. While tough battles continue on every front of the war, the loss of air superiority is not only a military problem for Russia, but also a sign of a strategic crisis. While the loss of helicopters reveals the weaknesses in Russia's air defense, the shortages in the production of military equipment and vehicles make it difficult to compensate for these losses. These losses in air support also have the potential to affect operations on the ground. In modern warfare, it is becoming increasingly difficult to maintain the effectiveness of ground operations without air support. Before we get into the details, aren't you curious about the long-term impact of this success of the Ukrainian army on Russia's air force? Perhaps these operations could be the turning points that will change the course of the war completely. Let's take a closer look at the latest developments and examine behind the scenes of these critical losses. Before we get into our report, a quick reminder: the Anka Daily News team is real. None of my team members or me are artificial intelligence. There's no doubt that AI is very advanced, but it's still not as good as us. By the way, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. We do read all the comments you leave on our videos, so please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comment section. Tell us in the comments what content you'd like to see on the Anka Daily News channel. So let's start if you're ready. Anka Daily News reports: the Russian military has suffered serious losses during the ongoing conflict between Ukraine, adding to its air power. The 2 separate helicopter crashes on Saturday foreshadowed critical problems for Russia, both on the battlefield and in terms of military equipment. These incidents show that Russia's air power is weakening and is in danger of losing control on the ground. Moreover, the loss of these helicopters has exposed the strategic shortcomings of the air support that the Russian military needs in the course of the war. According to the Russian Emergencies Ministry, an Mi-2 helicopter crashed in a wooded area in the Kirov region near the village of Belinki, 700 kilometers east of Moscow. The 4 people on board, including a doctor and 2 paramedics, died. Rescue teams dispatched to the scene initially recovered only 3 bodies, but a 4th was found later in the day. Although Russian authorities haven't yet announced the exact cause of the crash, the incident has again raised the issue of the inadequacy of Mi-2 helicopters for field operations. Mi-2 helicopters are considered to be among the vehicles that have old technology and pose a risk for modern warfare conditions. While the accident calls into question the reliability of the medical and logistical support Russia needs in its field operations, the impact of such logistical losses in the current war conditions could be huge. On the same day, another helicopter crash occurred near the Kerch Bridge, a major route carrying troops and equipment from occupied Crimea to Ukraine. The helicopter used by Russia for military patrols lost control while flying over the Kerch Strait and crashed into the water. According to the claims of the Russian propaganda channel, one crew member lost his life and another crew member went missing during the crash. Initial reports suggested the model of the downed helicopter was Ka-27. However, the Russian propaganda channel later updated the report and stated that the model of the helicopter could be Ka-52 Alligator. The loss of the Ka-52, an important part of Russia's attack helicopter inventory, could seriously affect military operations. However, due to the uncertainty, the exact model of the downed helicopter is still unclear. The Ka-27 is a vital platform for the Russian Navy, designed to detect and destroy naval targets. It is equipped to track and neutralize both surface and underwater targets. Its missions, especially in strategic areas such as the Black Sea and the Kerch Strait, are crucial to Russia's plans for maritime dominance. The loss of the Ka-27 could have a direct impact on naval operations in the region and weaken Russia's naval power against Ukraine. The Ka-52 Alligator is one of the most powerful attack helicopters of the modern Russian army. Used for close air support, tank and infantry destruction missions, this helicopter is equipped with missiles and a 30mm cannon. Effective against both armored targets and air threats, the Ka-52 is capable of operating in all weather conditions. The loss of this helicopter could weaken Russia's air support for ground operations and greatly limit its operational flexibility on the ground. The fact that these two accidents occurred on the same day has made Russia's problems with air power and military equipment more visible, especially since the beginning of the war. The increasing successes of the Ukrainian army against the Russian Air Force indicate that Russia is losing its air superiority. The lack of modernized helicopters, maintenance problems, and increased pressure on the ground may be one of the main reasons for these losses. Moreover, the Russian military's loss of air support may reduce the effectiveness of its ground operations and require it to reconsider its strategic moves. By exploiting these weaknesses, the Ukrainian army has the opportunity to use its air defense systems more effectively. Given the importance of the equipment carried by the helicopter that crashed in the Kerch Strait, this accident is not only a loss of aircraft but also a critical logistical setback. Russia's loss of 2 military helicopters in one day provides an important indication of both the military and strategic dimensions of the war. Air power is crucial to the course of the war, and such losses could adversely affect Russia's strategic operations. The shortcomings in the logistical role of the Mi-2 and the loss of the Ka-52's battlefield support will severely limit the operational capacity of the Russian army. These developments make the increasing pressure of the Ukrainian army and Russia's vulnerability in the war even more evident. The ongoing course of the war will depend on how Russia recovers from such losses and corrects its strategic mistakes. For now, however, it seems the Ukrainian army continues to hold both psychological and strategic superiority. What do you think? How big an impact do you think the losses suffered by the Russian Air Force have on the future of the front line? What kind of situation might the Russian army face due to these losses? Let us know in the comments. We read and care about your points of view.